We begin the news with election matters, where no fewer than 4,613,197 permanent voters' cards have been collected by voters for February 3 rerun and by-elections in Nigeria. About 2,189,171 PVCs were collected by voters for the by-elections, while 2,424,026 PVCs were collected for the rerun elections. According to the Commission, 74 domestic observers and 1 international observer will observe the February 3 elections. Now, by-elections were conducted in 2 senatorial districts, that is, Ebonyi South, Ebonyi State, and Yobe East, Yobe State. 3 state constituencies: Chibok State Constituency, Borno State, Chokun State Constituency, Kaduna State, and Guma State Constituency for Benue State. Similarly, elections will be conducted in 4 federal constituencies: Akoko Northeast, Akoko Northwest Federal Constituency for Ondo State, while Jalingo Yoro Zing Federal Constituency for Taraba State, Surulere 1 Federal Constituency for Lagos State, and Yari Shanga Ngaski Federal Constituency for Kebbi State. Ahmed Usman Ododo has been sworn in as the new governor of Kogi State in Nigeria. The ceremony took place at the Muhammadu Buhari Square, Lokoja, the state capital. Ododo will be the 7th civilian to occupy the office of the governor since the creation of the state on 27 August 1991 out of Benue and Kwara State. Ododo, candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, was declared the winner of the Kogi State governorship election on November 12, 2023.
Ododo, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve.
And still staying in Kogi State, Governor Usman Ododo has announced the appointment of Dr. Folashade Ayoade as the Secretary to the state government. Ayade, who was the SSG in the last 8 years of the immediate past governor, Yahaya Bello, is from the Kogi West Senatorial District. The governor also announced the appointment of Ali Bello as the Chief of Staff. Until his appointment, Bello was with Yakubu Adabenege, who is now the Auditor General of the local government. And now to security matters. Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Tawarid Lagbaja, has condemned in strong terms the violent attacks in some communities in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. The Army Chief was speaking when he led some senior officers of the Nigerian Army to Mangu for an on-the-spot assessment of the unrest which occurred in the area. News Central's correspondent Chizo Banyon was there and now reports.
The recent attacks in Mangu, which took many lives and left many others injured, also left scores of houses, worship centers, business places, and other properties burnt. Having assessed the level of damage, the Army Chief commended the General Officer Commanding 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Abdulsalam Abubakar, for his swift response. He had words for the troops on more efficient service delivery.
To manage any crisis or conflict situation, it has to be a delicate balance of 3 major actors of the government, the people, and the military. The military is meant to create an enabling environment for other elements of national power to come into play, be it political in terms of dialogue, be it developmental in terms of provision of jobs, construction of roads, and what have you. The military has been on the plateau for some time. And so we need the appearance of other elements of national power to bring a lasting and sustainable peace to Plateau. We have said this, we are discussing with other critical stakeholders to ensure that that is done. We cannot rule out flashes, occurrence of conflict, but the response of the military is what matters. What happened in Mangu on 23rd, 24th of January was contained quickly and localized in this community. So I want to commend the troops for that.
Just about 6 months ago, General Lagbaja was in Mangu to commission this step-up command of Operation Safe Haven. He was again here on the plateau on the eve of New Year with other service chiefs when violent attacks broke out in Bokos, Barkin Ladi, and Semmangu local government areas. He reiterated the Nigerian Army's resolve to end the bloodbath in the state, despite rumors of complicity by the troops.
The composition of the troops is such that it's a mixture of the entire Nigerian society. We don't look at faces when we are deploying our troops. We don't ask of their religion. We don't ask of where they come from. So if you ask people here, some of them are from this community, but they've joined the army. Do you expect somebody that is from this community to aid militias that have come to invade this community? I doubt if that is reasonable. So those allegations are unfounded. They are rumor as far as I'm concerned. We have investigated, but we will leave our channels open so that in the event that lawful citizens, law-abiding citizens have complaints about the conduct of our troops, they can channel them to us and we will investigate and take appropriate actions.
With the deployment of more troops and combat enablers, the Chief of the Army Staff is confident that maximum peace will be restored in the state sooner than later. In Mangu for News.
And the acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, 3 Division, Nigerian Army Lieutenant Colonel Ishako Takwa, was on the news earlier and spoke on insecurity in Plateau State.
The visit of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarit Adedugba, General Army Medal today has boosted the morale of the troops and has increased our confidence in what we are doing. As we have heard him speaking, he reminded the troops of the rules of engagement and what needed to be done. This is boosting the morale of the troops. And he told the troops clearly that those perpetrating evils, those that doesn't like seeing Plateau live in peace, should be arrested or should be brought down once they see them with arms and ammunition or burning churches or burning mosques, as the case may be. That was the word of the Chief of Army Staff himself today. He was here by himself to encourage the troops, to give them that, to boost that their morale, to ensure that they do the needful to protect life and property of the citizens.
The Nigerian Police Force says it has rescued 154 kidnapped victims and arrested about 139 suspects for various crimes across the country within the last 2 weeks. This was made known by the Force Public Relations Officer while parading the suspects, saying 17 firearms and locally fabricated weapons, including 604 ammunitions, were recovered from the suspect. He adds that among the suspects is a syndicate specialized in supplying arms to bandits operating along the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway, Niger, Zamfara, and Kaduna state of the country.
Before you are some of our recovered arms and ammunition, 3 GPR chargers, AK-47 rifles, Type 06 rifles, locally fabricated rifles, pistols, locally fabricated pump actions, 504 pieces of AK-47 live ammunition, and 100 pieces of AA ammunition, that is anti-aircraft ammunition. And of course, within the space of 2 weeks, we have made 154 rescues of kidnapped victims. 154 rescues of kidnapped victims. And a total number of 129 kidnapped suspects arrested, including those that were neutralized during our video rescue.
And still talking security, the Minister of Nigeria's Federal Capital has pledged to provide security agencies in the Amak and Abaji area councils with adequate logistics to help tackle insecurity within the Federal Capital. And this was as the minister visited both area councils to engage with residents as part of efforts to nip the escalating insecurity challenges in the Federal Capital headlong. Amadine Oyi reports.
The dialogue commenced from the Apo district of Abuja with stakeholders from the Abuja Municipal Area Council. The minister urged residents of the council to take the issue of insecurity seriously, saying its effects on citizens and development can be devastating.
Insecurity does not know who is a Christian. Insecurity does not know who is a Muslim. Insecurity does not know where you come from. It can be me today. It can be you tomorrow. It can be the other person tomorrow. So it has nothing to do with you are from here, you are not from here.
Stakeholders of the area council presented a list of measures needed to be put in place to help some of the satellite communities tackle insecurity affecting them.
It will interest you, sir, to know that if communities such as Kabusa, Keti, Bao, and other communities that have become kidnappers' hideout are accessible by security agencies, the rate of crime would have been adequately addressed. On this note, sir, we are pleading and we are appealing to you, sir, for your quick intervention to create access road to the following communities. 1. Kabusa Keti Access Road. 2. Takushara Burum Access Road. 3. Karishi to Gidankwano, Leka and Kutasa.
From there, the ministerial team then proceeded to the Abaji Area Council to meet with stakeholders over the worrisome state of insecurity in the council. The chairman of the council appealed for more military and police presence in the area, which shares borders with neighboring Kogi State.
There is a demand for a military checkpoint in Yabatan has been obtained in Naharatisa. An upgrade of police outposts in Daum to a full divisional office with additional manpower, additional vehicle and logistics for the security agencies to discharge their duty responsibility.
The minister pledged his commitment to providing security agencies with adequate logistics.
We are not going to leave anything. Our security agencies who are working will be given all the necessary support in terms of logistics. All the equipment we will give them to see that they carry out their assignment. Very soon, in not more than a week, we are going to provide vehicles to all the police divisions and other security agencies in the 6 area councils.
The dialogue, according to the minister, is the brainchild of President Bola Tinubu to get the cooperation of citizens in the area councils so as to support government's quest to tackle insecurity in the nation's capital. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
To infrastructure matters, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, has frowned at the flagrant misuse of the federal roads in Aba by the residents, transporters and traders. The minister, who was in Aba to inspect the ongoing road project along Aba-Port Harcourt Road, said the only guarantee to the durability of the road is for people to desist from displaying their wares, loading passengers and dumping refuse on them. News Central's Chiwo Ogele reports.
In 2014, the government of Goodluck Jonathan flagged off the reconstruction of Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway contracted to different construction companies with a 40-month completion target. Yet, 10 years later, the road is still under reconstruction.
We'll just have just about 3 kilometers to finish this one, and then about 5 kilometers to finish the Aba-bound carriageway.
The Works Minister, David Umahi, is satisfied with the pace and quality of work done so far by the contractor handling the portion between Abiatar and Aloji.
This is one of the best contractors I can boast of in this country. Their job quality is very, very high.
We are in progress. As project manager, he just briefed me now. Before May, it will end up till the boundary.
He is, however, displeased with the attitude of the road users in Aba.
We wouldn't like after the federal government has spent so much money constructing this road. You see people, loading on the road. You see people trading. I think half of the traders in Aba are having their, shops right on the main road. And this is very disgusting. But the people are the ones destroying the roads by themselves. Why Mr. President is passing through sleepless nights on how to solve the problems of a very bad inherited economy. Nigerians should support him. Nigerians should also support themselves.
The dilapidated state of the road affected commuters, businesses, and the town in general, as residents share their feelings about the ongoing project.
I'm very happy that today there is a great difference, and I believe that since the work has already started, it will also come to an end with joy.
I thank God because these people, they are really trying. They are trying the best to make sure that they meet up before the rain season.
One, however, wonders why a 56.1 kilometer stretch from Abiatar in Omaha to Aloji in Aba will take 10 years to complete.
The cost of construction is very huge. When I came on board in August, construction was 500. The bitumen was 500,000 per ton, and today it's about 1.3 million per ton.
The government is hopeful that the project will be of great standard to serve the masses upon completion. In Omaha for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
You're live with News Central Television. Let's take a short break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned. A Lagos Sexual and Domestic Violence Court has sentenced the founder of Rerun Christian Ministry to life imprisonment on Friday for raping a church member. Founder Feyi Daniels was found guilty of rape and sexual assault by Judge Rahman Oshodi for crimes committed against a female worshipper at a Lagos-based ministry. For more on this, Niyo Moni has details.
The Lagos State government arraigned Bishop Oluwafeyi Daniel before the Sexual Offence Court on a 4-count charge of rape contrary to Section 260, subsection 2 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015. The state claimed that the defendant, the founder of Rerun Christian Ministry, allegedly committed the offences sometime in June 2020 at Ikota Villa Estate, Lekki, Lagos.
Whether you freeze my accounts or you pay bloggers to speak against me or to write in newspaper, the counsel of Jehovah will stand.
The court found Bishop Daniel guilty and sentenced him to life imprisonment on the first count of rape and 3 years imprisonment on the third count.
The court found him guilty of the fourth count charge against the first complainant. They found him guilty of rape. That carried a life sentence. But the court, in its wisdom, said that the prosecution did not establish enough evidence in the second count of rape against the second complainant. But the court further went to find him guilty of sexual assault against the third complainant, but did not find him guilty of attempted rape.
We want to say thank you to Lagos State government for saying no and zero tolerance to any form of gender-based violence. Today is landmark. This is a victory we didn't see coming. We knew we were going to have victory, but we didn't know it was going to be like this.
This sentencing comes at a time when more church leaders and pastors are being accused of sexual abuse.
It has also told survivors who have been brutalized, who have been, have one way or the other be victimized and traumatized by men of the cloth, that they have a voice and that when they talk, we will listen.
Justice has been served, and this is giving us joy that we can still rely on the justice system of Nigeria. In my own case, and I think that is the only regret I will be having in my life, that I didn't take TB Joshua to court because I was not well guided.
As a man,
I'm ashamed that we still have men who feel they can rape women, they can sexually assault women, and nothing will happen. Because see, if you know that the lady you're about to mess up with, if you know this will happen to you, you won't dare.
Sexual rights activists believe the position of trust and authority that clergy hold makes these crimes particularly shocking and deserving of serious consequences. The sentencing of Bishop Daniel is seen as a warning for would-be offenders that sexual crimes will not be tolerated, even for those in leadership positions. The expectation is that all institutions must work to ensure a safe environment for citizens. In Lagos for News Central, Ni Omani.
An evangelist, Bisola Hefzibah Johnson, spoke to us earlier on the news about the verdict of the founder of Irene Christian Ministry, Feyi Daniels.
Yeah, for those who have gone through this sexual violence, especially in religious institutions, I'll put myself into the scenario. People go through stages of emotional trauma. You start asking yourself, why me? You understand? You feel sense of regret and a lot of other stuff. And especially where you are being threatened, even by the leadership of such institutions. So fear inclusive. And some people, they have mental breakdown, emotional breakdown, psychological breakdown. It takes courage to pursue justice in this kind of situation.
And now to education matters. 1,000 orphans and other less privileged persons in the Jere local government area of Nigeria's northeastern state of Borno now have a cause to smile as they all receive a scholarship to write the university matriculation examination in Nigeria. This offer was made possible by a federal lawmaker representing their constituency with an aim to support their quest to obtain a higher education degree. News Central's Umaru Kirawa completes this report.
The scholarship beneficiaries, comprising orphans and vulnerable persons, were selected to ensure that those facing the greatest hardships, particularly those whose parents were murdered during the Boko Haram insurgency, were given priority. They come from various backgrounds, including displaced persons camps and host communities.
So if this initiative continues, many of us will get sponsorship, and we have a lot of students that have good career and backgrounds, but due to lack of money, so that's why many of them they are not getting sponsorship in their education and so on.
Many people cannot offer 7 to defy our JAM registration, but he promised to it if we get more score that or more than 200, so he will pay our registration for university. So we'll try so that we can see we'd get more than 200.
JAM is now 6,200, and the people affected with insurgency in the state cannot afford to maybe have access to that JAM. But by giving them free of charge, they will now have access to go and register free of charge. So that is why we are now deciding to give them that form with the assistance of the engineer Satomi Ahmed. And all this is in line with the renewed hope of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Republic of Nigeria, with the exemplary leadership of the Professor Bawana Umar Zulum, MNI FNSC, the Executive Governor of Borno State.
The scholarship is said to cover the entire cost of JAM registration, allowing these young aspirants an equal chance at pursuing the dream of a higher education with their peers.
We will scout for the best, particularly those that we want them to become medical students and engineers. The constituency office will make sure we have secured an admission for them, and if need be, even to pay their schools. So this is the 6th time we are doing this. This time around, they have parents that will take care of their education entirely. And I'm very much happy for the turnout. This shows that our young upcoming ones are ready to queue in to the educational project of Jere Federal Constituency.
By offering the youngsters scholarship to write the joint admissions and matriculation board examinations, this serves as an essential step towards the recovery efforts in the troubled Northeast region and an attempt at renewing the hope of those most affected by insurgency. In Jere for News Central, Umoru Kirawa.
The body of late Sylvester Oromoni Jr., who reportedly died on November 30, 2021 at a private hospital in Warri, Delta, after alleged health complications at Dowen College, Lagos, has finally been buried at Ogbuijo, Delta State, South Nigeria. News Center's correspondent, Osi Nazo, who covered the funeral rite, report that the father of the late 12-year-old vowed to get justice for his dead son.
Early at 7 a.m. on Saturday, sympathizers and guests have converged on the residence of Sylvester Oromoni Sr. in Warri, Delta State, to accompany him to Obrian's Hospital, where the body of his late son Sylvester Oromoni Jr. been kept for 2 years. The remains of late Sylvester Oromoni Jr. was, however, conveyed in a motorcade, moved through some major roads before arriving the Warri Club jetty for onward movement to his hometown, Ogbujo. At the funeral service, the priest described late Sylvester Oromoni Jr. as having a philanthropic spirit in that in him helped influence the payment of school fees for his schoolmates and house rent for teachers. Prominent Nigerian lawyer and human rights activist Femi Falana, SAN, who eulogized late Oromoni Jr., urged parents not just to see the death of their children as God's ways often, but to always investigate the cause of their death, irrespective of the circumstances.
Very soon, between now and April, the coroner that conducted the inquest will come out with his findings, and we're very sure that justice will be done.
Father of the deceased, Oromoni Sr., was optimistic of getting justice despite the 2 years of investigating the circumstances that led to his son's death.
Oh, I want Nigerians to know that this boy did not die natural death. They brutalized him, they poisoned him. So it's not a natural death. That's what I want Nigerians to know. When he died on the 30th of November, 2021, I saw the body and I promised him I'm going to fight justice for him for 30 years if God keeps me alive. 2 years and 2 months gone. The reason I decided to bury him now, because I've gotten the record of proceedings from the courts. I know that I can proceed from there. No matter the decision of this coroner inquest, I will still proceed from there. I've gotten the record of proceedings. That's prompted me to bury him now.
Late Sylvester Oromoni Jr., popularly known as Daddy, was born on the 4th of December 2009 and passed on 30th of November 2021 after alleged health complications at Dowen College, Lagos. In Warri for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
As one of the most populous countries in Africa, Nigeria's consumption capacity holds great potential for the recycling industry. A Nigerian company is giving old tires a second life, turning waste into bricks, floor tiles, and even flip-flops. The report, have a look.
According to a report by the Tire Industry Project, 1 billion end-of-life tires are generated globally every year, and an estimated 4 billion are currently in landfills and stockpiles worldwide. However, in Nigeria, one company is helping to reduce waste through recycling. Free Recycle is transforming old tires into paving bricks, floor tiles, flip-flops, and other goods, and since its launch in 2018, the company have recycled over 400,000 tires into new products.
We've been doing our best to educate the general public on the need to embrace recycling. You know, there's wealth in waste. Most people don't know that, but I'm happy that quite a number of people have started identifying opportunities in recycling.
If the depends on the trust of the company, if the product is okay, there's no problem about that.
For bungalows, I don't think there is much risk in it. For bungalows, basically, you can play around with bungalows. But if you are raising the load beyond bungalow level, it may not be advisable.
We need to welcome new innovation. So I will consider it, but with a proof. Probably I've had one or two people that have used that bricks from that same company that is introducing it from a tire, production.
Then mixed with an adhesive that lets workers shape the waste into all manner of products, which is believed to have prevented more than 8,100 tons of CO2 emissions since it began.
We are not only reducing the amount of tires that are being burnt in dump sites and landfills, and we all know that when you burn these tires, toxic fumes are released into the environment, which can then result in chronic health issues. We're also clearing out drainages. With tires and other solid waste in drainage, we usually see what happens. Flooding during the raining season, and then breeding ground for mosquitoes, which then causes malaria.
The existence of diverse opportunities along the value chain indicates an untapped gold mine that not only contributes to economic growth, but also social prosperity and environmental protection. If correctly managed, efficient waste recycling can result in job creation, renewable energy generation, air and water quality improvement, among other things. In Lagos, for News Central, Bettina Nwili.
Staying in West Africa, Mali's junta has set up a committee to organize a national peace dialogue after it scrapped a key 2015 peace deal with northern separatist groups following months of hostilities. Algeria was the main mediator in efforts to return peace to northern Mali, following the agreement signed in its capital in 2015 between the Malian government and predominantly Tuareg armed groups. However, the military-appointed head of government, Choguel Kokala Megan, in a video posted on social media on Friday, said there will be no negotiations outside Bamako, as it would no longer go to a foreign country to speak about its problem. The Algerian brokered deal had already begun to unravel last year when the fighting between the separatists and Mali government troops broke out in August after 8 years of calm. Coming up, Burkina Faso receives tons of wheat from Russia. We'll bring you details of these and more when we get back. Stay with us. The news continues in West Africa, where Burkina Faso says it has received 25,000 tons of free wheat from Russia. Confirming the news, Burkina Faso's Foreign Minister, Karamoko Jean-Marie Traoré, called the delivery a priceless gift. Speaking at a ceremony, Traoré said the wheat consignment from Russia would help to push his nation towards developing its own production capacity in order to halt once and for all dependence on food from abroad. Ties between Moscow and Ouagadougou have been strengthening since the military took power in 2 successive coups in 2022. Last month, Russia reopened its embassy in Burkina Faso, which has been closed since the collapse of the Soviet Union. In Kenya, several hundreds of people marched in Nairobi on Saturday to protest against femicide in Kenya, where over a dozen women have been killed this month in cases that shocked the nation. At least 60 women have been killed in Kenya this year, according to media report shining a spotlight on the violence against women, which the government has described as rising. In one of the cases that gained nationwide attention, a 26-year-old woman was killed on January 4 at a short-term rental apartment by a suspect who police say is part of an extortionist gang which targets women through dating sites. Barely a fortnight later, a 20-year-old woman was strangled, dismembered, and her remains stuffed into a plastic bag. 2 men are in police custody over this case but are yet to be charged.
from a family of women, but beyond my relationships, I'm aware that, you know, women are not safe. There's what's been happening in the news, but it's not a new issue really. You know, last year over 700 women suffered intimate partner deaths because of intimate partner violence.
You know, or if you have seen anybody who has signs of maybe they are too entitled to a woman and her identity and her person, call them out, talk to them. These are raise a better generation. This is what we are trying to ask. And also, other than that, the law should back us up and it should support us by making sure that these murderers are actually put to book as quick as it can be done.
I am here because of the worrying silence of femicide happening in this country. It is not something that we can accept. It keeps happening and the trend is very, very worrying.
What we've seen in the last 10 days is, you know, too many women brutally assaulted, killed and tortured.
Performers attending the Kalahari Art and Heritage Festival have expressed great excitement in using the event to tell the world about the importance of the San culture and the African origins. The festival is an annual event in the Northern Cape Province that celebrates the indigenous San communities of South Africa in music, dance and art. Bongani Sisiba has details.
The day started with mentorship activities on how to preserve the San cultural heritage. 16 groups from Botswana, Namibia and South Africa are here to draw knowledge from each other, share ideas and have fun.
The festival is important because I want to show our culture for other people to see and people who are there at the festival to go and talk there around where they are come from. I'm an actor, I'm also a singer, and why I'm doing this is because I love acting and singing because I want to put our San culture forward.
Maybe dancing if it's possible. But I'm here to tell people about my tradition and show them how to make my tradition and jewelry and all the things.
With vibrant music and dances just to showcase their rich culture, at the background, the flickering flames casting enchanting shadows on their joyful faces. The campfire burning at the background in this lively gathering.
It is important or imperative to preserve the San culture that it originates from Namibia. We took it from Namibia, but we are doing it our way in Botswana, and we are proud to be saving it for the younger generation. The future of tomorrow lies in our hands as the youngsters.
I think it is important for us to be dancing like this so that our culture don't get... We should keep on going on with our culture. Try and, you know, as the young ones are growing up like that, we should make sure that our culture we don't get lost on the way. We really love our dancing.
The San people have come together to honor their heritage and share it with the world. The festival has beautiful, captivating dances, each move representing different aspects of San's life. These dances tell stories, express joy, and celebrate their ancestral connection to the land. It's truly breathtaking to witness.
This song is just full of love, full of happiness and peace. Peace is in this dance. This is where you can actually find peace and happiness because it's it's just a beautiful feeling.
The Sans have preserved their traditions for centuries, passing them down from generation to generation. This festival is a testament to their resilience and the beauty of their customs. As the night progressed, the music and dance grew more spirited. The beats of the drums echoed through campsite, weaving a spellbinding tapestry of sound and movement.
The energy here is palpable and I can feel the connection. The music that is played here, it brings people together.
This show of tonight is just a glimpse of what to come, as various groups here prepare to showcase their talents at annual Kalahari Arts and Heritage Festival on Saturday. In the Kalahari Desert, Northern Cape in South Africa, for News Central, Bongani Sisiba.
Away from the African continent, The head of the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees has urged the countries that halted the funding to reconsider their shocking decision. 8 countries, including the UK, took the action after Israel told the agency some United Nations staff were involved in the 7th October deadly Hamas attacks on Israel. The agency says it is investigating and has already sacked those employees. Over 2 million people in the Gaza Strip depend on it for their shared survival. The countries that have now suspended funding are Australia, Canada, Finland, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, the UK, and the US. Intense fighting has raged on in the city of Gaza of Khan Yunis, sending Palestinians fleeing further south as Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu doubled down on his vow to eliminate Hamas. But relatives of hostages held in Gaza took time to reflect on the Holocaust and the attack on Israel on October the 7th.
Today is the 27th of January. That's the International Holocaust Day. That brings me to think about the connection between the Holocaust and what the world does at the Holocaust to the Jewish people. The same what happened in the 7th of October, while nobody came help to the people on the border of the Gaza. I feel very bad, not only as a second generation, as an Israeli, as what I see that the world does nothing, not at the Second World War for the Jewish and not for us today. All the faces are against Israel, are for the armed Palestinians in Gaza.
So today it's an International Day of the Holocaust Remembrance. And for me it's very, very hard because when we say never again, we mean it, and never again is now. And we can't make it the norm. We can't make it normal because it's not normal to kidnap people and to kill people. It's not normal, so we can't let it happen. We need to bring them back home now. We don't have a time anymore. We just need them back.
And now to business stories. Delta State has won the Silver State Award for Oil and Gas Investment in the country at the Nigeria Oil and Gas Forum and Award Night. The award ceremony was organized by the founder, Ms. Nafisa Aliyu Haruna, and sponsored by the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, held at the International Conference Center, Abuja, on Friday night. Presenting the award, Ms. Haruna stated that the Delta State has contributed immensely to increase oil and gas production in Nigeria. She states that Delta State emerged first from the opinion poll carried out within the industry as the safest in oil and gas sector in Nigeria. Receiving the award, Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborowori thanked the organizers for the well-deserved award, saying the state government remained irrevocably committed to ensuring peace and sustainable development of the state. In the world of sport, the Super Eagles on Saturday progressed to the quarterfinals of the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations after a 2-0 win over Cameroon's indomitable Lions at the Felix.
Tonight. This is very simple. We noticed that I really lacked, or my players lacked youth. I think youth play. We are not experienced enough. Lack of experience has played against us. Have a young, think me, a national team. You do not train a national team. You do not coach a national team. You manage it, because these are players I selected who are members of the teams, and now I selected them.
Meanwhile, Cameroon head coach Rigobert Song claimed his young side will learn from the defeat on Nigeria. The indomitable Lions exited the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations for Super Eagles, and their counter played at the Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium in Abidjan. Song's team were outplayed by their opponent, who put up a resilient display.
My boys. One time more, he didn't suffer goals. Today, you scored 2.
And that's all on the news at this hour. But before we go, let's take a look again at some of the major stories. Nigeria's electoral body says 4.6 million PVCs collected for Saturday's rerun and by-election. Burkina Faso receives 25,000 tons of wheat from Russia. Mali to organize national peace dialogue to help curtail the rise in separatist attacks. Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen and follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch us live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola Adedugba.